let's get to this thing real quick, man. Talk some strengths, talk some weaknesses. For me, a couple strengths that I see with this. Actually, you want to go first with the strengths?
Sure.
Yeah, you go first because then I know I'm gonna talk. So yeah, I don't want to talk over you.
Sure. One of their big strengths right now, I guess you could break it up two ways, but their defense, in particular, their rush defense.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last 7 games,
Talk that talk.
6 of those 7
Talk that
games,
talk.
they held the opposing team to under 100 yards rushing.
Talk that talk.
Last week, the Chargers only had 29 yards.
Talk that talk. Deke, I see you, Deke. Deke in the lab. Deke said, I ain't playing with y'all this week. I will not be the reason. All right.
To my previous point, though, their defense has been pretty good recently, but
Talk that context, though. Can I get some context, Deke?
They've
Deke,
also
give me some
gone
context,
up against
baby.
some sketchy offenses here,
There
some
it
sketchy
is.
teams in general.
That boy cooking. Scrape that pot one
Giants,
time, Deke. Scrape the pot
2
one
weeks
time,
ago.
Deke. Scrape the pot one time, Deke.
But there are other teams that make you think. No, I think their defense can hold up against good offenses.
What team were you looking
too.
at and saying that?
Well, last week was the Chargers.
Okay.
Justin Herbert.
Uh-huh. Don't chill out. Don't eye that. What you eyeing? You doing a lot. Chill out. Don't do that. You doing a lot, bro. You doing a lot. Nah. You just skipped that.
We're talking about good offenses that they played.
Yo.
I thought the Bills weren't happy with their offense under Dorsey.
So you let that ride there. We straight let that ride. So that might be why you got fired. Yeah.
Commanders they've played. It depends on who you ask. A lot of people love Howe because he's like leading the league in passing yards and stuff, but I don't think the Commanders are all that. Played them. Colts with Minshew. Again, we're talking about them as like being a good team, but like is their offense really like that good?
Mm-hmm.
So like I do think the Patriots, as of late, have been helped out with some of their opponents and how good their defense is looking, but it's something obviously we got to be paying attention to.
Yeah.
Can't be doing anything stupid out there. Mitch wants to play aggressive, which I'm for. And I think their defense could be had, but you got to be careful. Okay. So after that, it starts to get tough. I'm not going to lie. For strengths, it starts to get a little tough.
Oh, good. Like I said, I'm just glad.
Belichick, I will throw him in there.
You got me some strength this week, man. I'm just glad you got some strength.
I'll throw him in there for the strength because he's a good coach.
Yeah.
Obviously. And even though they're 2-9, as TG mentioned, he's not one of those guys you mess around with, especially with their defense. Like that's the one thing. I think he has self-destructed the Patriots offense over these last couple of years with some of the decisions he's made with
he was too smart for himself.
Coordinator,
too smart for himself.
Personnel moves that they've made at the receiver position, paying dudes like Juju's one of them right now, but they've also paid money to like Kendrick Bourne,
Think about
Nelson Aguilar.
Nelson Aguilar, that was the one.
Oh my god. So yeah, at least on the defense side, Belichick knows what he's doing and can keep a game close because of it. Outside of those two, because I'm talking about the defense as a whole. I mean, and I broke it down. They got a good secondary too.
Oh, yeah.
But they're really, really good on defense and their rushing game. And you
got
Belichick.
Bro.
That's it. That's all I'm gonna go with.
All right.
I'm not pumping them up
Listen,
too much
bro.
more.
Listen.
I would bring up Ramondre Stevenson. I think
hurt.
he's good, but he's hurt.
Yeah, I'm with you. He hurt. No, bro, that was fine.
I think that's all
That
I got.
was fine, bro. You were locked in on that defense, man.
That's respectful enough, right?
No. Salute you, bro. In all seriousness, man, salute you on that,
That's
bro.
respectful enough.
For me, man, I got the defense as well. As a whole, that is the strength of their team. Deke brought up the numbers. I love it because I was literally going to talk about the same stuff, man, in terms of what they've been able to do in terms of stopping the run. Also, scoring defense. They don't allow a ton of points, and that was reflected also in these past couple of games. But the context does matter, which Deke brought up. In terms of the quality of some of these opponents. Now, the flip side is, I'm sure people could look at us and say, well, how are y'all going to say the same thing? We aren't playing as well as we would like to, but that has not taken away from the talent that we have seen. And we do know Deontay Johnson is a good receiver. We do know George Pickens is a good receiver. So it's like certain parts we do know we have players that are good. We just have to be more consistent in our production. But I feel like we're further along if we're going piece for piece, player for player, our offense versus New England's offense, right? But to me, their defense is fire. So 100% I'm with you on that. Belichick, you can't go wrong with Belichick. The way we talk Coach T, I'm sure it's Patriot. Actually, I know it's Patriots, former Patriot players that talk about Belichick the exact same way. And the difference is he has the Lombardis also to really stamp their stances on him. Whereas with Coach T, we know he doesn't have as many. But yeah, anytime you're playing a Belichick coach team, man, you know special teams are going to be big, defense is going to be big, and any of them weird, janky rules, be locked in on them. Any of them weird, janky, just one-off stuff, be on alert for it, man. That's Belichick. He leaves no stone unturned. The last thing that I had as a positive, because I wanted to say running game, but like you said, Ramondre Stevenson is out. I feel like their run blocking, though, is really good. I don't think they pass block as well as the stats might show, but I do think they run block really well. And even when Ramondre went out, you could even see Zeke have some success. The difference to me is Zeke is just older. Zeke is D'Angelo Williams when he came to the Steelers, not D'Angelo Williams of the Carolina Panthers. Still got the vision. You can still see some flashes, but it just isn't the same. I do feel like their run blocking, based on what we put on tape last week, especially the inside part of our defense, that is something that we gonna make sure, might need to be a little bit more buttoned up on. But that would be the final positive that I would have for them. But now we can talk a little weaknesses, man. All right, so let's hit these and quit these, man. All right, we ain't gonna take too long with these ones.
Yeah, I'll be quick with this. Quarterback spot.
Yeah.
Brutal. Worst in the league.
Yeah.
Zappy or Mac Jones, take your pick. But they're going with Zappy, and I think he's even worse than Mac Jones. Better for us to be going up against him. Offensive weapons, bad. You got Devontae Parker. I guess he's supposed to be their number one. Yeah. I guess, but I think based off numbers so
it's the
far,
DeMario dude. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's been picking it up. It was Bourne. He's on IR. Juju's not doing anything.
Yeah.
They got Jalen Reagor, Tyquan Thornton, just a bunch of dudes with
Tyquan the first round, though. Remember
upside,
that, man?
just never panned out into anything really.
Tyquan dropped a bomb too in that game because he fast. That's the one thing we do know. He's fast, but he dropped the bomb. Nope.
Tight end's not bad, but they don't know how to utilize them because going back, you look at their quarterback spot, not good. And then I might bring up Belichick as a weakness.
Yeah, you can talk.
Does
about
he still
it.
got it like he used to?
You can talk about it.
No Tom Brady.
They have said since
still a good coach. That's why I still got him in the strengths.
Well, Deke, they said
to that degree.
They said since Brady has moved on and since Ben has moved on, one coach has had more success than the other. That's what they saying.
That is true.
That's what they saying. We haven't seen Coach T be sitting here at 2-10. We ain't seen that.
Losing record for that matter.
We ain't seen that.
Didn't Patriots finish like 7-10 last year?
We ain't seen that. That's
with Cam Newton. They went
7-9. He didn't
maybe.
have Cam. He done went through a couple of quarterbacks up there, bro.
Cam 7. It was like Cam Brian Hoyer experiment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Mac Jones. They did make the playoffs.
Yeah. Then Bailey. He's getting his opportunity right now a little bit. I feel like there's somebody I'm missing.
Last year they went 7-10, and then this year obviously they're not going to have a winning record.
No.
Yeah, those would be my weaknesses.
For sure.
Just offense as a whole, I guess.
Yeah.
You could parlay 2 spots into that. I'm talking quarterbacks and
ain't
offensive
that,
weapons.
Bro.
And
ain't nothing wrong with that.
I ain't Belichick. I think maybe he ain't the same anymore.
All right. We kind of on the same page anywho, man. I said the QB's consistency because I do think Bailey throws a nice ball. I think he has good accuracy. I like him in the short to intermediate because he doesn't have this like crazy rocket strong arm. But that was one of the things that we liked about him when we were looking at him as a draft prospect coming out as like our late round darling of the draft, man. But he's very inconsistent. And it doesn't matter if we're talking Mr. Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. If you're inconsistent, it's going to show up and it's going to hurt you. And unfortunately for Bailey, he doesn't have that talent like some of them other dudes I named to overcome those inconsistencies. Wide receiver position is very limited. Devontae Parker, if this was Devontae Parker in Miami, man, yeah, it's a different conversation. This version of Devontae, it's not the same. Now, he still can create some separation. He still does some cool stuff, but he's coming into his game leaking oil. He didn't even finish last game. I think he went out with a knee. It was like third quarter, I want to say, after he had a big catch. So he's coming into this game leaking oil as well. So the wide receiver room is limited. I like Juju as a blocker in this. Like, he blocks a lot up there, and he does a good job of it. But in terms of big plays, catching stuff like that, their offense doesn't show a lot of that through their wide receivers. And then the last thing that I would say is their pass rush. I think they generate pressure, but it's via blitz. Typically, if you have to blitz to generate pressure, that is not good. Quarterbacks take advantage of that. The reason why I bring up their pass rush is mainly because Josh Uche is their solo artist. That's the guy that wins one-on-ones for them. He is a lot better than Dennis Garden from a week ago, but his numbers don't reflect that in terms of sacks. But in terms of talent, he is a far more talented player. I don't think he's as good as Alex Highsmith, but just think if it's that type of player as your main pass rusher, that's why I don't feel like their pass rush is as good. And I don't think that's going to hurt us to the same extent, especially with Mitch and how he's able to, just like I said, subtly move around and stuff. So those are weaknesses I have. It is 6:41. So we're going to go ahead and get these previews in real quick. So I'm going to run through these matchups. Then after that, we drop the preview, drop the picks, and get about that thing. Sound like a plan? Sound like a plan? All right, then. So a couple matchups to watch out for, man. Zeke Elliott, man, we got to start with him versus our inside linebackers. Why Zeke? Because they're going to have to run this ball to have success. They're going to have to lean on it, and they already want to run the ball. But Ramondre Stevenson is out. So we go to the next best name, which is Zeke. You said we know who Zeke is, man, but he is a shell of that now. So we got to make sure we make it look like that while we out there. And our inside linebackers, I don't know what the combination is going to be, but this is going to be a big test for them. I like the fact that they get this version of Zeke, though. It's kind of a nice little even matchup right now. All right, so we're going to see. We're going to see.
Just make tackles.
Just, you know what I'm saying? We're going to see. Yeah, because I'm like, this isn't the same version, but at the same time, we know the guys that we put out there last week and what it looked like at times. Then from there, man, you brought him up, Devontae Parker. That's their number one, right? Cool. Well, JPJ, I need you to go ahead and make him look like child level one time for the culture. You know what you do. He ain't none of them dudes that you've been facing. I don't even want him to get a catch, bro. Period. All right. And that's because he played for the Dolphins. You know I don't like them extra. Then from there, man, them tackles, Trent Brown, I think is going to be Mike, I'm going to butcher the name, Anu, but they've been rotating that whole situation over there due to some injuries. So I think City So has also played over there. They're both guards, though, but they will play that right tackle spot. Whatever one, it doesn't matter. Highsmith and TJ, you got to have them dudes. Highsmith, you've been running around big. Trent Brown, we know what time that is, but TJ, this your game, bro. We need you to really, really cook again. Now, I know it's a short week. You might be leaking some oil, but we don't care, man. We got to have it. All right. Fourth matchup that we're going to get into, them DBs. Jonathan Jones, J.C. Jackson, Jalen Mills, Kyle Duggar, and Jabril Peppers. I was very specific about the ones I named. I ain't name all their corners. I ain't name all their safeties. But these are the five dudes that they utilize the most in their little 4-2-5 defense. And they're not great players, but they are a bunch of really good players, and they're smart and they're savvy. So you just got to be smart with this thing, Mitch. We know you be aggressive. You know you like throw that thing in a double, triple coverage. Be careful because, like I said, on paper, this isn't a scary group, but this is a group that will take that ball from you if you put it in harm's way too many times. So for Mitch, be locked in. And then the last thing, Broderick and Dan Moore. Just make sure Josh Uche don't do nothing that make him look special. The same way we didn't want 45 to look special. I don't know how you grade that, but yeah, just don't have Josh Uche, number 55, looking special for the Patriots.
We did make him look special.
Yeah.
And then Trey McBride.
I'm just like, can we please? I'm telling you today, Deke, the only one you gonna. Remember when I said last time when it was he's hurt right now. Judon. Remember when it was Judon? I was like, yo, this how Judon wins. This the guy you gotta watch out for. That's the only worried about. And he came and was like, how the heck Judon do the thing? Tell you now, it's 55. That's the guy. The other dudes are just guys. 55 is the one. He ain't nothing crazy, but that's the one. Okay.
Score predictions?
Let's get after it, bro. What you got for me, man?
I've hinted at it many times throughout this podcast.
What's up? Talk that talk.
I do think Mitch lights this up.
Talk that talk.
I thought he played valiantly in coming in for Pickett last game against the Cardinals. I thought he played pretty good. Took some shots downfield.
We seen one backup put up a whole bunch of points.
Throws. If Connor Hayward didn't drop a couple passes,
they know.
Who knows? Who knows what Mitch's stat line could have been? Who knows what the Steelers' status in that game could have been?
Yeah.
O-line didn't do him any favors, but I think you're right. I think he moved around, escaped it decently. There were sometimes he couldn't do anything, but then you toss in the Mason Cole snap, the fumble. That wasn't his fault. I weirdly think Trubisky's going to be unleashed without Canada here.
Let's go. Unlock 10?
Yeah, I don't know what you want the phrase or the slogan
Unlock
to be,
10?
but
Take the handcuffs off 10?
Unleash 10.
Take the handcuffs off of him, man.
Sabotage 10, whatever it is. Yeah, I think Mitch plays pretty damn good here.
Let's go.
I don't know if I got a stat line for you.
Let's go.
Popping in my head. 250, 2 touchdowns popping in my head.
Hey,
right
man, it ain't too late for 30-3 or 30-10. It ain't too late for that.
Yeah, 250, 2 touchdowns for Mitch. Is this the one where Jalen gets more carries?
He's
than
had a
Najee?
4-touchdown game before. You know that.
Mitch?
Yeah, he's had a 4-touchdown game before.
I think they said he had a 6. Did
he have a
someone say
6?
he had a 5 or a 6?
I think it was a 5. Was it a 5?
I think he's got a 6.
7 got 6s. No, only 7 was doing 6s, bro.
Well, Mitch doesn't have back-to-back 6s.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. 7 did back-to-back. I was here for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jalen Warren gets 100 on the ground. Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is we're approaching another 400-yard game for the offense here.
Well, let's go.
I don't know what Najee does. I don't know what his status is going to be, but I think just based off the nature of him being a little banged up, we do see more from Warren, and that obviously goes hand in hand with him getting over 100.
Okay.
Defense, our issues right now are at inside linebacker, but as a whole, I don't think we should have any issues against this Patriots offense, unless we do stupid stuff like missed tackles and penalties and whatnot, which is what we did last week against Arizona, so let's not do any of that anymore.
Please.
Does anyone get a pick? It might be tough for Minka with that broken hand. Casey's do. I think Casey gets one. And, yeah, that's it. I think we get a fumble. I think T.J. Highsmith gets a little strip sack in there.
Let's go.
We get 2 turnovers. Not a lock, but it's pretty damn close to being a lock.
I like it.
99.9% that we're going to win this game.
Let's get it. See, I know what
Final
time we
score,
on, man.
Steelers. Hey, we get 24. Patriots, 6.
All right. Y'all heard what time it is then, man. So let me drop my prediction real quick. And it's 47. Yeah, then we get up out this thing. So I don't get, you know what I'm saying? I hate to have a little boss be upset with me for, you know.
Well, we got
I don't want to get in trouble.
Style dropped another 50 burger.
Oh, all right. Let me drop this real quick, and then we're going to talk about it. So I got it 13-10 Steelers. I think we do light it up in the sense of moving the ball. I just know it's hard to score touchdowns versus a Bill Belichick team, man. So that's why I think that we do get that first touchdown. I think we'll get multiple field goals after that, but the multiple field goals are predicated off of moving the ball. So we're going to be feeling good. We're going to be looking good, but I do think that we get about that thing 13-10 short night. Ugly game, but we make it work, though, baby. We makes it work.